Welcome to Beyond the Pain. I am your host, Chris Trovador. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Beyond the Pain, where I, the tattoo artist I've been tattooing for what, a decade? Who knows? I've been doing it for a long time now. And I've always wanted to interview my friends that have amazing stories. You know, all my clients, I've tattooed doctors, teachers, I've tattooed cinematographers, producers, the list goes on. And this next guest is nothing short than amazing. He is a great friend of mine. He is a photographer, videographer. He is a gatito papi, a cat daddy. And the most important, he's a great person and an amazing friend of mine. Give it up for my guest, Oscar. Hey, what's up? How you doing, buddy?
How you doing? I'm doing good. You know, getting through.
Good, yeah. How you been during the pandemic?
I've been doing good, man. I've just been trying to, stay sane at home, try to find new activities to do, trying to stay active, puzzles, just stuff that I've never even thought of doing before. Just trying to
Puzzles, explain that.
just trying to keep the mind just going. Me and my girlfriend just picked up this hobby recently, just wanting to do puzzles. So literally just bought one. We haven't even got to start that yet, but yeah, man, just trying to find things to do to just keep the mind going, you know.
Is it the bigger kind of puzzles, like a
Yeah,
full-on picture?
yeah. Like it's actually a picture of Frida Kahlo. So it's like 1,000 pieces. I've never done a puzzle this big. But yeah, it's a pretty big puzzle. So we plan to actually do it and then frame it and hang it up as a art piece itself.
Oh, which also, now, you know, my brain's always ticking, and I always got an idea somewhere. Eh, Now that we talking about puzzles, you know, you can upload your photos. Like, for example, I have photography that I've done and I put on T-shirts. Well, I've seen that you can also put photography, your art in puzzles.
Yeah, I've seen it before. That's actually
Okay.
it's a cool idea. I've seen it done before. Yeah, it's dope.
I feel like those puzzles, man, it's so many pieces that I'd be like, I'll do it once, but then I'm not gonna keep doing. My mom used to do it as a hobby, like all the time.
Yeah, no, like I've done like like puzzles with like 20 something pieces that they're like really big and I feel accomplished. So I've never done something this big. So I'm excited, but I'm also a little nervous to see to see if I actually get through it or not.
Yeah, the only ones I had growing up were like from the dollar store, the big old dookie pieces,
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
big old, and yeah.
exactly. You put the four corners first, and you have like 5 pieces left to do. Exactly. Yeah, those.
Well, man, thanks for being here on Beyond the Pain with
Ah,
me.
nah, yeah, it's an honor. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I've been following your career for a very long time. I've also tattooed you. When was the first tattoo we did? We did 2000, maybe like 11, 10, something like that.
I want to say the first one was my chest piece. Was it? Yeah. That was.
No, no, the puppet. When you had
Yeah.
long hair, when you were a cool dude.
Yeah, when I first started skating, yeah, that was my skate look. Yeah, yeah, that was probably the first one, and then from there, I think we went into the chess piece. It was like one after the other. Like we went crazy.
Yeah, those crazy times, just in general, like consistently getting tattoos.
Yeah.
Well, our first segment, it's gonna be very interesting, at least for you, because we're gonna, I guess, highlight or grade tattoos.
Okay.
It could be look good, look ugly, who knows?
All right.
Steve, the
Cool.
producer, the man and behind the scenes, he's gonna upload one and we're gonna take a look.
All right. Let's see.
Go on it, bro. This is what we start off with. It
That's hard
looks like it
because
could be a cover up, like he's covering up the spot or something.
and it's hard because it's cute and it's like it probably has some like cool, funny, cute meaning behind it. So you don't want to be so harsh, but it's also
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it
yeah,
does, it probably has a meaning for like his daughter or someone, you know. So
exactly.
you can't judge that portion.
Exactly, and I have some pretty crazy tattoos myself. So, but I can't say it's a favorite. I like the colors. I love the contrast of colors, but you know how they were blended and done. I
Yeah, but
can't say that I'm a big fan.
man, the girl looks like she's hiding a knife behind her back. Straight up.
Yeah, she does look like she's plotting something. Her dad's over here. She got protection, and then she's plotting something behind his back. Yeah, it does. It comes off a little creepy.
Yeah, quality of work, I say it's not good at all. Not trying to toot my own horn, but just saying in general, where it's like adding some more details in the fuzz. I've seen a few kinds of tattoos from Monsters Inc., and I've seen some phenomenal ones. So in comparison, I like the idea that he's going for, sure, but it's just executed
Execution.
poorly. If that makes sense.
I
So
agree.
I'd give it about a D plus.
D plus. Okay. The plus is for the colors. The plus is for the colors.
It's for the meaning. Next tattoo. You know what? It's done well. It's a
Yeah,
traditional style
I
pinup.
love I love traditional, and I want to start getting a little bit more traditional style, like pinups and stuff. So I respect it. I love the line work. It's solid. I really don't have much to complain about.
Yeah, yeah, it has that feel. Clearly, this person is either a chef or a killer.
One of
Because
the two.
yeah, because if you're a chef, you usually don't be using two knives at the same time. Not that I know
Exactly.
of.
That's not a typical chef pose. That's not something you do on the normal.
It's
So
a
yeah,
kill you in the shower kind of pose.
exactly. Exactly. She's definitely chopping meat. I'm just not sure what. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
like the
give.
tattoo though. I like the tattoo.
Yeah, it's executed well for the style that it's meant to be. You know.
Agreed. Agreed.
So B,
Yeah,
C.
I'm gonna give that. Nah, I'm gonna give that a solid. I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
I like it for what it is, the style that it is. I think it's good. I think it's good.
Absolutely. She got a little tushy too. So I mean, I don't want to point that out, but what I'm saying is they highlighted that in there. I didn't do the
I,
tattoo, but they
I was
highlighted
I
it.
was just going based off the quality of work. I was gonna leave that.
I apologize. That's not what I meant to do. I just wanted. I was noticing the details, and and that was okay. They added that a little bit in there.
I also agree though. I do also agree.
Next tattoo, bruh. It's not even done. First off, that's flagrant foul number one.
He's missing spots on the leg. Like the other leg looks like it was just traced.
It probably
But
hurt.
I do like him reaching for the nipple. I do give him points for creativity. It's funny. It's a conversation starter.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, how much you just, hey, you want to see a giraffe lick at my nipple?
Exactly. Like there's so many ways you could go about that. So many parties that you could be the center of with this tattoo. I'm not mad at it. It's not the best tattoo.
Oh man, I mean, I got my ribs done recently, and I don't. I think I would have still finished the tattoo. Like, there's no way I'm gonna go with this
That
half
far.
leg done. Yeah, that
Yeah.
far and not completed.
Yeah. I've been there where you're just like, bro, I have to sit it through.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely would have sat that one through.
especially you know how painful. I mean, you know how painful it is around the nipple. So it's just.
Yes. And then
Ugh.
to like go back to the shop to just do a leg. It's just also like I'm not going through this again to do a leg. I'm just getting this over with.
Yeah, man. I give it a C for creativity, maybe.
I'm gonna
Maybe.
go. I'm gonna go to C plus because of the
Oh,
nipple. I think the whole reaching for the nipple is different. I've never seen it done. I'm gonna go to C plus. I'm gonna give that one a plus.
that is hilarious. Man, I love doing that. Like, just, I don't ever want to put any other artist down with their work. That's not what I'm going for. I simply just want to highlight and discuss these works of art that people have paid money for or have gotten for free.
In some cases, yes, that might have been what happened. I'm hoping that the Sully one was maybe like a friend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's a
tough.
big
Like,
piece.
bro, I did a stand-up show a few years ago, and there's a portion of the stand up where I'm like, oh, anybody got tattoos? Well, tell me about your tattoo. This guy goes, oh, I got a cigarette on my chest
A
in front of
cigarette.
everybody. Everyone was like, what the hell? And I'm just, thinking, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a meaning behind it. You just have a cigarette right here on your chest. And he ended up like explaining to everyone, oh yeah, my friend passed away. He also had this exact same tattoo. It looks poorly done, I know, but also it's the meaning behind it. And I think that's, the beautiful thing about a tattoo is like, even if it looks bad, if the meaning's there, bro, hey, kudos.
I agree. I have tattoos on me that are probably some of the worst done tattoos on me, like just letting friends, experiment, and I wouldn't change them for the world. Like they have meaning, and I'm cool with them.
Don't you have an Abraham Lincoln?
I do, but that one's not poorly done. Like
I didn't say it was. I didn't say that. I'm just.
and we both know who did that, and
Yeah.
he's an amazing artist. And actually, that's one of my favorite tattoos. I get asked about that anytime I wear shorts. I always get that question.
What's the story behind it?
Honestly, it was when I was helping you guys out at the shop. One day we were bored. There was really nothing to do. He had no one to tattoo at the time. And we were like, you want to just do something crazy? We were like, yeah, we kept going over different ideas. We came up with Abraham Lincoln, and I think it was his idea to just kind of make him resemble me, where he, with the gauges and the hairstyle that I was rocking at that time, obviously with the comb over, and just looking cool, but Abraham Lincoln. And he just ran with the idea. I trusted him. I said, go ahead, do you. And it's one of my favorite tattoos. I can't complain.
Shout out to Charles at Black Rainbow.
Yeah.
I
Charles, the
definitely got
homie.
to. What happened?
I know I said shout out to Charles, the homie.
Yeah, yeah, a great guy. Definitely have to get him on the show eventually. But yeah, hey, we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back up on your journey. All right, hit it.
Love is my good friend, sunshine. I've got enough to go around. You can share some of mine. I said, love is my good friend, sunshine. Wet, sweat, sweat, ooh, ooh, wet, sweat, sweat, ooh, ooh, wet, sweat, sweat.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pain.
You back?
What were you about to say? Please do tell. Do tell.
Me? No, I said we back.
Oh, we back. I thought you were surprised at me acting a fool.
Oh no.
Never surprised.
Never surprised.
That's funny because I feel like even when I'm tattooing, I try to go all out and just act a fool. I don't know
No,
why.
yeah, you're usually one, if not a couple characters at all times. During tattooing or whether we're shooting, you're always a couple characters. Yeah, so never boring.
I think that's technically what got me really into comedy was like when I first started and I was an apprentice, I was only doing music. I was just graduated audio engineering, and I'm still introverted, but I was very introverted in a sense where it's like I wasn't even talking to nobody at that time. Like if a client came in, I'm like, okay, cool, you want to do that? And eventually, Danny, the guy who taught me how to tattoo, that stigma, he was like, Mike, you gotta be more friendly. And I was just like, oh, do I seem mean? Do I seem aggressive? And so from that moment, I just started, okay, let me give my clients like an experience. Let me try to switch it up. And it didn't come easy, but after a while, year, two, three later, then it's like, okay, cool. Now I'm putting the salsa music. Now I'm getting ready. Oh, putting the gloves on. Just acting a fool and shit. And that's technically, like, I guess what helped me crack out of the shell to start doing comedy and then, going to LA and all that.
I get that. And that was a really good Danny impression because I've met Danny plenty of times, and that was a really good impression. That was a really good impression.
Thank you. I honestly had never met anyone from London out there, anyone British, just in general, just never met. I've seen it on TV, but being in Florida, you don't usually see that. So when he came, hanging with him, his wife, his kids, everybody got the accent. So it's just okay. Let me take these notes and. And I never understood their form of humor, bro. What dry
Very
asshole
dry.
humor they had.
Yeah, like you're not sure if they're joking with you. And a couple
Yeah,
times, like in meeting him, I was like, I'm not sure if this guy likes me, if he even wants me here. I was like, I'm just gonna just play my position and be over here. If he needs me, he'll ask.
funny man. Well, I mean, tell me about when was the first time you got your like first tattoo?
My first tattoo was actually I had a friend who actually had passed away. And I got a cross for him. I'm, as you probably know, I'm not a very religious person, but it was something that was very important to him and something very dear to him. And so I just kind of wanted to pay tribute to him. So that was my first tattoo. Um, I'd been wanting a tattoo forever, but I kind of wanted to find a reason to get one, and that was just something that I felt like would be a good start.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, you're a photographer. What got you into that? Like, tell me that journey.
Um, Honestly, I never liked being in photos, but I remember as a child growing up, I was around my aunt a lot, and we would go out and take photos. And I remember her bringing home all the developed photos, putting them in a photo book, even like pulling out little stickers, like little speech bubbles, and just kind of making stories with those photos. And I would enjoy doing that with her. And I was like, this is kind of cool. I don't enjoy being in front of the camera. I hated getting my picture taken, but I love the storytelling of it. So when I got older, I just kind of had enough money to be able to purchase my own camera, and I did, and didn't take it too serious at first. So one day I was like, you know what, I don't really have anything else I'm interested in, so I'm gonna just try this, and I fell in love with it and never stopped taking photos since.
Man, that's awesome. That whole picture book
Yeah,
feel.
it's crazy. Like, and I still find myself like thinking about those times, when I'm taking photos more in like a project that I'm doing, for myself. I kind of find myself referencing back to that and just kind of feeling like, okay, how would I put things together then when I was not so concentrated on like social media or anything? Just I was just worried about taking these photos and making a story. So I kind of try to do that with my personal work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I thinking about it, just like, oh, I think my mom also would like get the photos, get those scissors with like the edges on it, like it's all fancy
Yeah,
scissors, and then she would cut around it and it has like these nice edges, and then she wouldn't necessarily do like the bubbles, the
bubbles.
speech bubbles, which I think that's a really cool idea. But just the idea of creating a story, sort of, oh, this is when you grew up, or this is.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it's probably one of my favorite memories.
And then, so you took your first photo shoot. You had a model. How did that go?
No, yeah, I got a camera. I was in community college at the time, and I took two photography classes. Barely learned anything in them because I guess school just wasn't my thing at the time. I wasn't ready for school, and no one would want to let me take their photo. It really just took one friend, honestly. Someone that I just knew through Instagram, and we became friends. This was like Instagram was first starting up, and I asked her to take photos. She had a really good following, so she knew it would help me. So she was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And from that day, I want to say we shot and maybe did at least 20 to 30 photo shoots from that day on. She still remains one of my really good friends. And people just started reaching out. It really was just by luck, honestly, with luck and her help, honestly. People started giving me the opportunity, and that helped me kind of just own my craft, you know. But yeah, I had no one to shoot at first. It was really hard to book anything.
And so that one person basically opened the door to everything else.
Yeah, and honestly, and shout out Alex Isabella, really great person. You know, she could have just booked me once, took some photos, whatever the case may be, but she really made it a point to like help me out. You know what I'm saying? And I try to do that for other people because it was. I don't think I would have gotten as far as I did, especially at that time, without that help. You know what I'm saying? It really.
Yeah, I mean, you did it for me too. Like not necessarily like when I needed a photo shoot or whatever, you always came through. Of course, we exchanged with tattoos and whatnot, which I think is the barter system is amazing.
I love it. No, it's because it's like, yeah, I mean, I could get paid for this, but I'm probably gonna spend the money on this thing anyways. So why not help a friend out? A friend can do something for me. We're both, you know what I'm saying? We're helping each other. I'm completely cool with that. But yeah, so that really just stems off of that, probably that one instance of her helping me out.
And then from there, was there some time that you didn't, let's see, like when you first starting off, you're trying to emulate other people's styles. Was there someone out there that you were like, okay, let me try to copy that style, let me copy this style, and then merge into your own? How did you get into your own point of view?
Definitely. So I mean, at first, there were photographers like Van Styles. I'm sure you've heard of Van Styles, Steve Vanesco. Really, just really cool. He started out in the skate scene, which when I started taking photos, obviously I was skating at the time, and so he was a really big inspiration as far as like somebody that I not necessarily wanted my photos to look like, but I kind of wanted to follow maybe some of those same steps that he took. He made it really big. There were a couple other photographers. There was always, I think, more just inspiration. I never really wanted to have anyone's style because honestly, I didn't even know what kind of style I wanted. If I could kind of compile all my photos from when I started to now, I've had like 10 different types of styles of photos. So I never knew what I wanted to do, but there was definitely a lot of people that I could say I kind of took little pieces from and just kind of put that together. There's a photographer, I want to say his name is Amos. His Instagram, it was a long Instagram. But yeah, he was definitely one. There was a lot of people, and then a lot of personal people that I know, a lot of friends. I have a lot of talented friends. Like I can't even count how many artistic friends I have that do the same thing: photos, tattooing, comedy. So I have a lot of friends that I draw inspiration from, not even just photography.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say would be, do you feel as if, I mean, most artists feel that they're always learning and growing, but do you feel like you've developed your own unique stilo? Like, does that make sense? Or do you think
Yeah,
you have one? Because I know we all have one deep down, even if no one tells us, but do you think you have one?
yeah. No, like I think I have developed a style. And it's crazy because I find myself lately trying to like get myself out of that. Just to like just experiment with different stuff. No, there's not, not to say that like I feel like my style of
Nah, it's
photography,
growth.
but I would definitely say environmental portraiture would be kind of, if I had to say I fall into a category. I do love portraits. I love photographing people. I've met some of my best friends through photos. But I do like photographing them in their element if possible. Whatever it is that they do for a hobby, I like bringing that aspect. And if I can, if not, just something that adds to their personality. So I would probably say environmental portraiture. Yeah, if I had to put a title on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love film, film photography, obviously. So most of my work is film. I do walk around with digital just because film gets really expensive to shoot a lot.
Sure.
So I would say probably that would be a style because I do shoot a lot of film. if you consider that a style.
Absolutely, it is a unique style because I don't know if you remember my homeboy Fletch.
Yeah.
You know, he would do the exact same thing where he would carry around an old, you know, Nikon or Fujifilm or something like that, and you just go and develop the film at a spot if there you can find a spot near you that develops film,
I
which
have
is a
one.
whole yeah
Only
one.
one in the whole city.
Yeah, so yeah, I get it, and I admire playing, you know, with different styles, different things. Like I do that with tattoos. Like if I'm following Nico Hurtado, you know, or I'm following just anyone in general, that is just like, okay, I'm gonna try to aim for this, but I also want to put in my own um, pizzazz on it. I want to put my own salt and just like really hone in. And I feel like I'm always changing. I'm always adapting. So I don't think I'll be in the category of I'm a liminal being. You can't put me in a box.
Right.
But I feel that eventually, you know, to call it a style. I mean, Chriso style. Look at the bottom right there on my Instagram. Right, Chriso style. It's Chriso style. That's the best I could do. But I get you, man. I get in that same kind of headspace. And looking at your work, you know, I was just going over things like that, and you're always using these very cinematic backgrounds. Like you're at the lake, but the lake is like it's gloomy. It's if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like you always have a like a mood. I think that's what I'm looking for. Like a
Yeah,
mood.
yeah. I definitely do think I developed a moodier theme to my photos. I think that really just stems from like honestly like stuff that I'm just constantly thinking about. Not to say that I'm like a sad person because I'm not. But I do enjoy, you know, exploring that side. Like I'm not afraid to explore that side, I guess I could say. And that's just what I've tend to always shoot. I've been trying to switch it so much because I love experimenting with different stuff, but I always find myself shooting stuff like that, and that's more the editing and how I shoot it. Because I mean, you're from the same city as I am. You know, there's not a lot of those crazy looking places, or at least that are easy to find.
Nah,
Um,
you get everyone doing a photo shoot at the railroad track.
Yeah, so it's really hard here to find like places to switch it up. So a lot of times that has to do with like how I'm shooting them. Because if you were on set with me, you would probably be like, "Dude, I've passed this place so many times and I never saw this." And I was like, "Yeah, it took me walking by and noticing this." But yeah, so that it has a lot to do with the way I'm shooting it. But um, that's kind of what I do tend to lean more towards. Is more of a moody feel, yeah.
Yeah, and I love it, man. I think it's so great, and I'm glad that you've gotten so much success from it. You've also been able to you did you do a gallery not too long ago
I've
before the
done a
pandemic?
couple. I think the one you're referring to, we did do one. A friend and I, we did a gallery together in Brooklyn. Yeah, out there in Williamsburg in Brooklyn, kind of close to where I'm from. So it was really cool. Like, you know, I'm from New York. I've lived in New York as a child a little bit, as an adult as well.
Oh yeah, so
That
for
was
those that don't know, like he's from New York, but he also lived in Florida for a while. So that's how we're in the same city, but then he also
exactly, exactly.
continue, sorry.
No, no, you're good. So living there as an adult, that was, you know, a goal of mine was to have a gallery while I was out there. And unfortunately, while I was living there, it didn't happen. So to be presented with the opportunity, you know, later when I wasn't even expecting it, it was really cool. Like I was obviously employed with the company that allowed me to be able to go out there at the time, and everything just lined up right, and it was amazing. It was awesome. You know, it wasn't the craziest turnout because obviously most of my following is in Orlando. But it was a really cool experience to be able to do that.
Hey man, that's great. Yeah, and then you take what you learned from that first, you know, show, for example, and then you take that and you apply it to the next one and just keep getting bigger, you know, more creative.
Exactly.
Uh, going
I
from there.
think the biggest thing it taught me was just the nerves, like how to control my nerves. Like I was just crazy nervous the whole time, and it's something that I've done numerous times. I've had galleries in my own city, you know, when I'm there, and it's something that I kind of planned everything for. So this was out of my hands. All I was doing was presenting work. So just kind of the nerves of not controlling everything. I think I kind of learned how to just take a back seat and do my part. I definitely think I took something out of it.
There's a deeper conversation there. There's a deeper
Yeah,
conversation.
I definitely think there's more to be, you know what I'm saying, to be said about that, and just like to be learned from that.
Yeah, the nerves of putting your work out there, right? And having other people judge
Yeah,
it, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. When was your first gallery?
Um, Honestly, I don't even remember the year. I want to say somewhere around 2016. Um, I've done a couple in Orlando. I know I did. As a matter of fact, 2015. When I moved to New York as an adult, I did one of my own. That was actually my first gallery. I planned that one as like a going away party slash gallery. I had some of my work and then a couple other friends bring out work. And I think that was my first one. It was planned by me. I just had a connection to a club and I got really lucky. He let me do the show there.
Yeah, man, that's great.
That was a really good turnout.
Hell yeah. I just, I'm such a fan of people getting uncomfortable. I'm such a like get out there in the middle, and just find your wings, find, your floaty to hang on to.
Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself, man. It's crazy. Like you learn so much just by putting yourself in a situation that you probably wouldn't have if you had a choice. Like there was plenty of times, like I had to do whether it be a gallery or a shoot in a place that I wasn't comfortable in, and maybe I needed the money or I needed the exposure, whatever the case may be, the connection. I had to do it, and after I didn't die. The photos came out good. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something that's out of my ability.
So how do you get a person who that you're about to photograph? How do you get them to feel comfortable? What are there specific techniques? There's specific something that you do?
So I think I'm a really like. I mean, I can't say I'm different from every photographer because I really don't know how many people shoot. I've never really been on other people's shoots, but the way I shoot, I really don't make it a shoot. I kind of, if it's someone I already know, it's obviously a lot easier. If I'm just meeting them, whether it be social media or in person, I kind of just set a date to hang out, grab some coffee. Obviously, I'm gonna have my camera gear with me. We would have went over maybe some ideas we want to go with, some outfits, but for the most part, we're getting coffee or meeting up at a bookstore, whatever the case may be. Maybe shopping for outfits that we plan to use. But I kind of try to make it just like a hangout, and I take some photos. Then we kind of just go from there. But I try not to make it too formal. It kind of takes the fun away from it. For me, even
Yeah.
I don't. It makes it like a science, and I honestly just enjoy hanging out, exploring. I've gone on hikes with people that I just met. Obviously, I try to be safe, but yeah, I mean, I've gone to some crazy places with people that I just know from social media, and we're shooting for the first time.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, I just find that so fascinating that you're able to just even experience, sort of like what we were talking about with tattoos, where it's like I'm giving you experiment, setting the mood, and it's basically that same thing, except you're taking a photograph of someone that lasts, technically forever. And I know my first photo shoot, I was like 15, 16 years old, and I'm like, oh, nervous as hell. What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my face? You
Exactly.
know, uh,
And of
so
course, there's always those tips that I've done this for a long time. So there's always tips I'm going to give during, but for the most part, I try to tell the person, look, just be you. We'll have conversation. You'll see. I'll be shooting away. Like this is on this end. This is what I do. I know when to shoot, when not to. You just be you. If I see something, I'll let you know, and we'll go from there. But I try to keep it really just real casual. Yeah, I don't. I'm not even a fan of shooting in studios sometimes for that reason because you're so worried about is my lighting right? How is it hitting my model? Is their makeup good? Is their makeup going to look good on camera? And it just becomes so much of a job that I don't enjoy it. I just like exploring. I like getting coffee. Coffee is like always number one on every shoot. So yeah, I
yeah.
just try to make it chill. I mean, you've been on numerous shoots with me, and I think we're just hanging out and we get photos. And we probably
For
do
the
something
most part, I
beforehand,
probably have a
after.
plan. I feel like I because that's just me being me. Where it's like, okay, I need somebody to be here. the second camera guy who's gonna be my homeboy Efrain or Wasi or something. I need them to be in the background to get the BTS shots. Like I'm a different person for sure. Whereas like, okay, what did we do the last one? It was at a record store.
Yeah,
It was like a Valentine's Day shoot.
Yeah, we went to a record store, and I think we went to that coffee shop, Drunken Monkey. We went to that coffee shop. We shot right there, yeah. And it was literally, and then we hung out with two other friends. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a shoot. We're there for a reason, but we're friends first, and that kind of I feel like shows itself in the work.
Beautiful, beautiful. Off, sort of off. Do you have a tattoo that like goes along with photography? Camera? Do you have?
I don't, and I've always planned one, but I can never decide on what would represent. Because I'm always like changing cameras, so it can't be like a specific camera. You know, I'm always changing. So I don't, not yet. No, I don't.
What kind of camera you got now?
I have a bunch. Currently what I'm using the most for like actual shoots and stuff like that. Like I said, I shoot film, so I'm using a Mamiya RB67. It's actually a medium format film camera. If you're not too familiar, it's just bigger negatives. So you're gonna get more quality in that film negative than you would per se 35 millimeter. My walk around daily camera, I do have like smaller film cameras, but I've been walking around a lot with a digital camera, actually a Fuji X Pro 1. A little bit
older. I got the Fuji TX30. That's the one I got.
It's a cool little camera, you know. It does everything I need and more. I'm still learning it. I've never shot Fuji before. But it's cool to walk around with digital and know like I can make a mistake. I'm not as nervous. I'm not wasting money. Like I said, I still take my film cameras everywhere I go, but just having that's just that freedom of just taking more than one shot and knowing it didn't cost me money to take that shot twice. It kind of takes that pressure off sometimes. So I kind of use that when I'm just hanging out with friends at a party or exploring. I just came back from a trip with my girlfriend, and you know, I took a bunch of photos there, and it was just cool to be able to just hang out with her and still take photos, not worry about was my light right. I can just look at my shot and know what I got.
You don't force work. You don't force it. And I love that too, where it's like when you do what you love, that's, you know, it's not work. Right. So I find that very awesome, which is like why I do tattoos. I love doing art, and I found a way to, you know, make money off of it and really love the art of tattooing. But I also don't want to force, you know, my situation of doing every Friday the 13th, where I have to do a bunch of small ass little tattoos. And it's cool because you can promote, you know, and they'll come back to you later on. So there is a math to it. But at the same time, I don't want to do every single one, bro. That's like 50 tattoos of the small. It's just not worth the stress sometimes of, you know, having to not have a break or just consistently, you know, just doing tattoos that people aren't necessarily grateful for. But before we head for commercial, what's your favorite tattoo?
If I favorite tattoo,
and you don't have to pick mine because we're on the show.
No. Most of I want to say like 90% of my tattoos are yours anyway, so it's by default going to be yours. I have two, for two different reasons. I do have the lightsaber that we did going through the heart,
the traditional style,
and we had a completely different idea that day. And I'm so happy.
And Carrie, it was for Carrie Fisher as well, right?
Exactly, and it wasn't at the time actually, which is crazy. We kind of just came up with the idea, and midway through the tattoo, I remember seeing it on Instagram and letting you know, like, bro, Carrie Fisher just passed, you know, and we were in the middle of the tattoo, and we kind of threw the, you know, the number on there, the date, just to kind of, you know, show our respects to that. So that's definitely one of my favorite pieces, just because it wasn't supposed to be that, and I'm probably wouldn't have been as happy if it wasn't, or if you didn't change it. And then of course, my favorite piece is the portrait you did of my niece. A little hard to see. Probably.
I have to stand up. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. Oh man.
Obviously, you know the story behind that of me losing my niece. So that obviously is going to be my favorite tattoo. But not only that, just I mean, it came out amazing. Like I couldn't have asked for more. So yeah, those two. I wouldn't say they're tied. That's probably number one. But I always have to throw that one in there as well because that's one of my favorite.
Beautiful. I appreciate you letting me do it for you, man.
Thank you. Of course.
All right, let's cut to a commercial break and leave on that nice note.
Let's do it.
Love trees like good friends, sunshine. I've got enough to go around. You can share some of mine. I said, love trees like good friends, sunshine.
Wet, sweat, sweat, ooh, ooh, wet, sweat, sweat, ooh, wet, sweat, sweat.
Hi everybody, this is Ruben Mentive. I am the host of La Lista, a Latinx writers podcast.
Welcome back to Beyond the Pain! I don't know how many more positions I could do for each one of these episodes. I'm just gonna have to start jumping from the roof.
Not upside down. You gotta after you get the upside down, then you gotta start getting crazy creative. But you gotta get the upside down. Find a way to get the upside down, and then
Definitely got to figure that one out. Or I could jump from the bed into the frame.
yeah. But I don't want you to get hurt. At least not on this episode. Not on this episode.
Hey, it's beyond the pain. There needs to be some pain somewhere.
Gotcha. You're right. Do it for the name.
That's funny. Your most painful tattoo.
Oof. Most painful. Also you again. And it's also you're very particular with your work, and you take your time, and that's obviously a compliment because I love everything all your work that you've done on me. But the geisha, geisha playing beer pong that we did on my side, was probably the worst pain I've felt, and that was 6 hours for the first session. Obviously, we've touched it up since. I think I want to say one other time, but that first initial session was 6 hours long, and I was ready to give up. I mean, I did give up. Obviously, I didn't finish it in one session, but that was bad. That was bad.
I mean, I'm sorry that I put you through pain, but y'all be asking me for this stuff.
That's another one of my favorite tattoos. I get asked about it all the time.
That's a good conversation starter. Who's this person playing beer pong on your ribs?
Exactly, and it kind of just leads me back to like my party days, and then I just get lost in a whole story. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces.
Absolutely, that's so funny. I ended up getting my ribs tattooed. A year ago, 2 years, and it's like from here to here, and it's Caesar from Planet of the Apes. It's a flamingo. It's a chameleon and a turtle. It's in color too. So I understand your pain for that specific area.
I can only describe it as like, at least for me, like uncontrollable like shakes inside, but like within. So the artist doesn't feel it because at least I don't think you thought I was shivering. But like inside, I just felt like my whole body was just like going into like shock by the end. And I was like, this is insane. Why do I put myself through this? I'm never getting another tattoo again. And that was like my 5th tattoo. I'm on like 20 something. So obviously I didn't stop. But it was insane.
That's so funny. What other tattoos that we did? You have an R2D2 on your leg, but did I do that one?
Yes, you did R2D2. Emmy got me that one for my birthday. That was a birthday gift from Emmy. Shout out to Emmy. But yeah, he did that from he paid for that. You got that for me. What else have you done? You've done that. You've done the mermaid on this arm.
Yeah,
You've
that's right.
done this.
Well, you got too many veins. We can't even see that. Oh yeah, the other pirate lady thing
Yeah,
that I did.
the whole arm. Yeah, you've done everything. My chest piece.
Yes.
I'm telling you, like probably more than 90% of my work was done by you or somebody in Stigma.
Yeah, the little one we did, right? That was the most smallest tattoo you had me do, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Oh yeah, my stepmom's name. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, what a journey. And I'm assuming you're gonna continue to get more, right?
Yes, I do. I actually
What you
have
got?
been planning to get a few. I have a couple ideas that I want to do. They're actually smaller ideas, and then a couple bigger pieces. I have a fun one actually that I was saving for you. I think you would enjoy it.
Go ahead, pitch it to me.
It's actually so one of my niece, another niece, recently the other day she's been asking my brother and my sister-in-law for a art desk for the longest. Her dad is an artist, and apparently she just got gifted with this talent as well. And so she got an art desk, and I came home from work. I work with my brother, so I always see my niece and nephew every day after work, and I saw she had the desk, and I was like, "Oh, draw me a picture. I'll get it tomorrow." I came back the next day. She didn't have it done, so she was like, "Give me 10 minutes." And my niece is 7, mind you. 10 minutes later, I walk into the room, and she has this I told her to draw me a Pokemon. I told her to draw a Pikachu for me. And she drew this Pikachu that I was like, no, you're tracing that. Like, and I looked, and she just has headphones on, and she's just watching someone on YouTube draw Pikachu, and she just drew it. So it's obviously it's a 7-year-old's drawing, so it's not going to be crazy detailed. But that's why I felt like you could bring that element to it and just make it dope. But yeah, I want to get that. She did that for me, and then I want to get a portrait of my cat. And I kind of want to do it in a like a cool, like just old English type style, maybe top hat, just something cool, just to fit his old man personality. I feel like he has that really just old, like what's that little? Is that a monocle? What is that called?
Yeah,
The one
yeah, monocle.
that, yeah, with the cigarette. Like that's my cat's
That's
spirit
cool.
human.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we have spirit animals, that's his spirit human. So I want to get a portrait of that.
for
So I've been saving
sure.
those for you because I just feel like that would be up your alley.
I'm so down for funny tattoos. I mean, the first tattoo is not necessarily funny,
Yeah,
but the second one, just in general, it's just like I love doing funny tattoos. I love. It's better if they mean something, of course. But yeah, like I've done. What I went through a mustache phase where everyone was just getting mustaches, an orange with a
like
mustache.
he did my cousin. My cousin Justin got one too. He lived here for a couple
He
months.
actually
Never had
got
a
a
tattoo.
mustache.
Never had a tattoo in his life, and gets a tattoo on his finger. I was like, this guy. That was his first one.
It's so funny, man. What would you say is your, I guess, worst tattoo? One, not necessarily that you regret, but it don't look the best, and you also,
Oh, I have a I can't show you guys because it's a little high up on the thigh, but I let a friend do what was supposed to be that the happy face from Watchmen.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be the happy face with a little blood trickle coming down the head, but it looks like a really poorly beat up, or like a really beat up clock, like a smiley face clock in the hand instead of a blood droplet. It looks bad. Um, but it's also a conversation starter. If anyone ever gets to see my thigh, of course, like if I'm at the beach trying to get a little extra tan, it starts conversation. But yeah, it's poorly done, but I love it.
Hey, as long as you love it, man, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Another thing that I love is this new stuff that you've been coming out with, the skateboard decks. Talk to me about that stuff.
Yes. So I've done prints. I've done just different things with my work, and I just wanted to kind of find a way to just switch it up, give people something different to be able to hang up at home. Skating is just something that I've always done. I still skate, not as much. I don't have as much time, and don't like getting injured as much.
It's a
Yeah,
whole part of it.
it took a toll on my body, so I just had to slow it down. But it's still something that I love skating. I always love skating. So I just kind of wanted to bring that in. I have a couple different ones up on the site. I have one back here. I can show you. don't know if you can see.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so this one's actually wrapped up because this is someone, so I didn't take the plastic off of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a shot that I got when I was living in New York. It's a bridge, the bridge right over Chinatown. So it's a really known spot. It's been taken, it's been shot a lot. I shot it a lot while I lived there. Every time someone visited, I would take them there. But yeah, I don't know, this photo this day. I guess what I was doing that day just kind of made me want to put this on a deck, and this is probably the one that sold the most. But yeah, I got a bunch of them up there.
Did it again? Yeah, man, that's great.
And they are fully skatable. So if anybody out there skates,
Hey, where can we find your stuff at?
on the website deardolores.com. It's spelled DearDolorous. If you guys skate those, please send me videos of those because I need more people besides me skating these.
And then plug in your Instagrams and your socials, all of them.
Oh yeah. Well, all my socials are the same. Dear Dolores. Spelled the same way. Not the name, but the feeling of Dolores. But yeah, that's all my social medias. I keep them all the same. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. Well, what's the meaning behind Dear Dolores? Is that appropriate to ask?
Yeah. It's weird. So I had, obviously you knew I had Ozzy photo, Ozzy snaps, Ozzy photography.
Hey, I seen you doing behind the camera too.
Like so many.
Or in front of the camera. My bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been in front of the camera. I can't lie. I love fashion. So if you ever do see me in front of the camera, it'll just be because I was feeling my outfit that day. Other than that, I'm not a photo person. But as far as, I've had multiple different Instagram and Tumblr handles, and I could never come up with something. I needed something, so I would just put whatever there. But I always knew I wanted a name that had some more meaning. I always liked the word melancholy. I don't know why. It just started out originally. I just liked the way the words sound. And I tried to make it into an Instagram handle, and it just, no way that I thought it looked cool was either taken or it didn't work. So I just went online, found words that were similar to melancholy, and I found dolor. The feeling, of course, of Latin descent, kind of like dolor in Spanish. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It sounds like a name. I photograph a lot of people, mainly women, if you've followed me, obviously, for a long time. So I thought
inappropriate stuff.
I try to keep it a little bit more appropriate these days.
Respect, yeah, man. I don't judge at all.
It was, and that's part of just the work I just always loved creating. And I like the play on the name Dolores. Like I said, since I photograph a lot of people, mainly women, and I just kind of wanted something that just spoke to the mood and mindset I was in at that time. And yeah, it just stuck. I don't know, it's catchy, but I like that it has meaning, and I finally found the name that I was cool and I was proud of. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep this one.
Is that going to be the title to your book that I hear that you're working on? Oh my God, where did that come from?
No, so that won't be the title. But I do plan on doing a book. I have been working on it. I do have a couple of photos. I've been really busy. On top of, I'm just very selective. But yeah,
sure. It's an ongoing process, it's longer.
Yeah, I don't want to put the name out yet, because I don't want to be sold on it. But it will be just kind of, how do I describe it? Like I want it to show a side of people that it's just a sad side, but kind of embracing that, a side that's not always so happy, but understanding that you can embrace that and just learn from it. Kind of the same thing I told you before, just being out of your comfort zone and kind of learning from that. I kind of want to do that in a photo form. Also dealing with sides of like depression and just stuff that are kind of not spoken about, but I want to shed light on it, but in an artistic and dope way,
Bro, I understand that 100%.
Yeah,
Did
so
you
it'll
see
be.
seen those paintings that I've done, like the I Love Lucy,
Mhm.
the Robin Williams, the
Yeah,
Richard Pryor? That is the whole thing about it. I want to highlight mental health awareness, and so many artists, such as those actors like Lucio Ball, Desi Arnaz. There was so much going behind the scenes inside,
and that you would never know.
and I wanted to paint that ugly on the outside, sort of.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm the same way, Ryan. I like there's been times where I've gotten backlash for photos, and it was expected. I knew what was coming. And it was just me, like, I'm just trying to speak from a place that I feel like it's real experiences, and these are the only ways I know how to express it. I'm not a good artist. I can't draw. I
But
can't
you're an
sing.
artist in its own way.
Of course, but you know what I mean. Like, as far as painting and just singing, or I don't do those things, and this is my way of expressing it. And I've gotten, of course, like backlash, negative feedback, but and I love that, because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to start conversation, and that's kind of what I want the book to do. Like, I want it to be a coffee table book that can be just that, just an art piece, and bang, these photos are cool, but it can also start conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then that's, I think, what I'm going for.
Beautiful, man. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your stories, your journey, and your tattoos. And
Cool.
y'all go check him out at DearDolores.com and Dear Dolores on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram. You got TikTok yet?
All that's no, I don't. I know if I get it, I'm gonna be stuck on there. Like, I have the app, and it's funny because I only got it. Like, I saw when it came out that it was like, oh, it might get banned, and I don't know. The first thing I thought was, man, remember when Flappy Bird just went away? And if you had Flappy Bird on your phone, you could sell your phone for like $10,000. I
Wow.
saw that somewhere, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna download TikTok in case it gets banned and you can never get it again. And if it's on my phone is valuable. And I downloaded it, and I never signed up for it because I'll just be stuck on there. It's a black hole. Like, I watch them.
I understand.
I get them sent to me daily. But I know if I sign up for it, I'm gonna be stuck on there.
For sure. But hey, man, still, they're gonna check you out. I'm so eager to hear about this book and all the stuff that you got coming out with more skateboard decks and more photo shoots. I'm gonna schedule one soon. I best believe it.
Let's get it. I'm ready.
Yeah. Y'all can follow me at Trovador360 on Instagram, at Trovador180 on Twitter. You can find
All
me
right.
on TikTok at Trovador360. It should be just like Trovador720. I should just keep going into the circles
You know what I'm saying? Just keep it going. It's
to
a
the
circle.
900.
It's like a circle.
Exactly. It's coming full circle. Well, hey, Oscar, thank you so much for being here, bro. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it. And that's it. We'll see you on the next episode of Beyond the Pain. Yeah. Thank y'all so much for coming.
me.
Oh, did you like that episode? Well, I have so much more. I have custom fashion, I have tattoos, I have comedy. Like and subscribe and share.